As this little boy was passing away, he whispered 4 words that broke his mom's heart. Some stories are simply too sad for words. We want to show you the story of Nolan Scully. This little boy experienced what no one should have to endure. He inspired many with his courage and positive attitude towards life. Every second of this story is powerful, but especially the last conversation Nolan had with his mother will break your heart. Roland Nolan, also known as Nolan Scully, was a young boy who tragically lost his battle with cancer far too soon. His story, though heartbreaking, is also one of hope, faith, and a remarkable strength found in people. It reminds us that we are often much stronger than we realize. Nolan's journey began like that of many ordinary little boys. Nolan's loving parents, Ruth and Jonathan Scully, adored him from the moment he was born. From an early age, he was fascinated by policemen and firefighters. With a heart full of laughter and a sweet, kind nature, Nolan was beloved by everyone who knew him. But above all, it was his mother who cherished him most deeply. She affectionately called him Poot, a loving nickname she used for her little Nolan. But sadly, when Nolan turned 3, tragedy struck. In October 2015, Nolan fell ill. Initially, his parents thought it was just a mild cold. He had a runny nose and a cough. However, his breathing became increasingly labored, and his strange snoring alarmed them, signaling something far more serious. That is when his mother, Ruth, became increasingly worried. She immediately took Nolan to the doctor. At first, they thought the little boy only had a severe sinus infection. They gave him antibiotics and a nasal spray, and he got to go home again. However, the prescribed treatment did not help. And now, Ruth took Nolan to an ear, nose, and throat specialist. The doctors discovered that Nolan's nose and tonsils were severely swollen and required surgery to remove them. But just days after the operation, devastating news followed. Nolan had rhabdomyosarcoma, a rare and aggressive cancer affecting soft tissues. It was essentially a death sentence, as treatment options were limited. Nolan's parents were heartbroken. No parent wanted to hear that their child had little time left. Can you imagine how they must have felt, or how Nolan felt upon learning the news? Their lives were turned upside down in an instant, and nothing would ever be the same. For Nolan's mother, it was especially devastating. Pregnant at the time, she struggled to find joy in her pregnancy while watching her son slowly fade away. The doctors immediately ran a lot of tests on Nolan, from CT scans to blood tests, and found out that the tumor was still isolated. Although they could not operate on him, there was a possibility of reducing the tumor with chemotherapy, and this is how the sweet little boy began the battle of his life. Nolan faced an intense battle ahead, including 43 weeks of chemotherapy, a grueling ordeal for such a small body. He was admitted to Georgetown Hospital's Special Children's Cancer Ward, which became his home for months. A dedicated team of nurses worked tirelessly to keep him as comfortable as possible, despite the slim chances of success. To cope and share Nolan's journey, his mother created a Facebook page called Nolan Strong, which remains active to this day. Meanwhile, the treatments took a toll on Nolan. He lost his hair, often felt nauseous, and was constantly fatigued. Yet, through it all, he remained courageous, inspiring everyone around him with his resilience and strength. His will to fight the cancer was strong, and it was exceptional, not only for his loved ones and the nurses, but also for the thousands of followers on his Facebook page who were very sympathetic to the family. The page also raised a lot of money for his treatments, which they desperately needed because they simply couldn't pay for all this. Nolan received overwhelming love and support from the community, with gifts, teddy bears, and donations pouring in through fundraisers. Despite his struggles, Nolan stayed hopeful, dreaming of becoming a policeman. He cherished joyful moments like visiting a Jurassic Park event, exploring the harbor, and admiring Christmas lights with his parents. One special day, his dream came true. The local police chief swore him in as Special Agent Roland Nolan, and the fire brigade honored him as a member. Proud and happy, Nolan treasured the walkie-talkie he received to stay in touch with his boss. Unfortunately, despite these uplifting moments, treatments failed, and he had to endure more rounds of chemotherapy and radiotherapy. His doctors also decided to attempt surgery. However, as the cancer had already spread to Nolan's lungs by then, this was also unsuccessful. On the 7th of September 2016, Nolan celebrated his 4th birthday together with his loving family, and it was going to be his last birthday. Nolan was losing the battle against cancer, and the doctor said he probably hadn't gotten much more time on this earth. No treatment had worked, and the cancer continued to spread through Nolan's little body. The doctors could only focus on keeping him comfortable and ensuring he experienced as little pain as possible. Devastated, his mother poured her heart out on the Nolan Strong Facebook page, sharing her emotions and the final days of Nolan's life. What happened during those last days was truly extraordinary. Nolan continued to surprise everyone with his strength and love. One day, while lying in his hospital bed, his mother climbed in beside him, as she often did. She gently asked, "Poot, it hurts to breathe, doesn't it?" "Well, yes," Nolan replied. "You're in a lot of pain, aren't you, sweetie?" she continued. Her little boy nodded. Then she softly said, "Poot, this cancer is terrible. You don't have to fight it anymore." "I don't?" Nolan asked. "No, love," she said. Nolan, ever selfless, responded, "But I would do it for you." "Oh, Poot," his mother said, "is that what you're doing? You're fighting for Mommy?" "Of course," Nolan said. Nolan, his mother, then said, "What's Mommy's job?" "Keep me safe," Nolan grinned. Then, his mother spoke the words she never wanted to say. "Sweetie, I can't do that anymore here. The only way I can protect you is in heaven." Her heart broke, but Nolan stayed strong. "So I'll just go to heaven and play there until you come too. You'll come, won't you?" "I will, for sure. You won't get rid of Mommy that easily." The next day, the whole family came together in the hospital, and his mother did not leave Nolan's side for a moment. They watched YouTube videos together, played games, and discussed how Nolan wanted to be buried. He said that he wanted them to remember him as a policeman. The next evening, his mother wanted to take a quick shower and asked Nolan if that was okay. He agreed with it, but it felt as if he had been waiting for this moment, because when she closed the bathroom door behind her, Nolan closed his eyes as well and fell into a deep sleep. When his mother returned, the whole medical team looked at her. "Ruth, he's in a deep sleep. He can't feel anything," they told her. Nolan struggled to breathe, and his right lung had just collapsed, causing his oxygen level to drop rapidly. Ruth jumped quickly into bed next to her dear little son and held him tight, and then something miraculous happened. Nolan briefly woke up, looked at his mother with a smile, and said, "I love you, Mommy." His mother softly sang to him, her voice full of love, as Nolan closed his eyes once more and peacefully slipped away. With his final breath, this little hero found the strength to express his love, a moment that touched everyone deeply. It's heartbreaking to think that someone as brave and special as Nolan had so little time to live. Do you feel this is unfair too? Share your thoughts in the comments and like this video if you agreed that Nolan was truly a hero. His family continues to miss him dearly, cherishing the love and memories he left behind. In the days that followed, the community came together to help organize Nolan's funeral. People waited in line for hours to offer their condolences to his family. The room where Nolan lay was filled with photos and videos of him, each capturing his radiant smile, a testament to his unwavering spirit in the face of his battle against cancer. His coffin was placed atop a large fire truck and paraded through the city in a grand procession. 7 other fire departments and the entire local police force joined to honor Nolan, paying tribute to the brave little boy who had touched so many lives. Nolan was given a traditional fire brigade farewell, an honorary salute reserved for a fallen officer, a tribute that perfectly reflected how Nolan would have wanted to be remembered. He also requested that everyone wear as much red as possible and play cheerful music that day. This was how brave little Nolan left this world, surrounded by love and celebration of his vibrant spirit. His story has touched countless hearts, and we hope that the courage and sweetness of this remarkable boy have inspired you as well. I'm really keen to know your thoughts on this story, so please don't hesitate to share your insights in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and found it engaging, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more similar content. Feel free to share this video. Take good care of yourselves, and I'm excited to connect with you in our future videos.